Alright guys, this is my install video for the Xylon ROM on the Samsung Galaxy Nexus. I do have the GSM unlocked version, so it may differ between if you have, if you have the Sprint or Verizon. This does work with the Toro though. I will provide a link in the description for the thread for you to go check that out. So I'm going to go to reboot, and we're going to reboot into recovery. If you don't have a custom ROM that enables you to reboot into recovery, just power off the phone, press both volume up and volume down and power button at the same time until you boot into your bootloader, and then just use volume down until it says recovery at the top. Once it says that, just hit power button. So I mean, it's pretty easy to boot into recovery on a Nexus phone. Bring this in a little bit closer. And once you are on in this menu right here, you're just going to want to go to, you're going to want to go to backup and restore first and create a backup. But before that, just go to wipe data factory reset, go to yes, delete all user data. Shouldn't take too long. Now if you're coming from a previous version of Xylon ROM, you're not going to have to wipe the data. I recommend wiping the cache and the Dalvik cache and then installing the updated ROM. But if you're coming from a previous version, you don't have to. But if you're coming from AOKP like I am, then I recommend wiping, or you're just going to get a lot of force closes and errors. So you may not though. You may be one of the lucky ones that don't get a lot of errors. But I know I'm probably going to be the one that does. So we're going to go to advanced next, wipe Dalvik cache. Go to yes. That doesn't take too long, and then we're going to go back to install zip from SD card. Choose zip from SD card, and if you're on a Jelly Bean ROM, it's going to be the 0 right there, and then you're just going to want to find the file that you downloaded. So I'm going to go down to my downloads folder, and it's going to be, I got so many in here. Sorry, wrong folder actually. It's in my Goo Manager folder. So I'm going to go to my Goo Manager folder, and it's going to be the Xylon Meguro 012 experimental, because I'm trying out the experimental build. You don't have to use experimental if you don't want to, but there's no fun in not trying the experimental builds. So I'm going to go to yes, install, and this shouldn't take too long. Now, a big shout out to Harry Young for recommending this ROM. I will provide a link to his Twitter in the description if you want to go follow him. He's a pretty awesome guy, and he also builds ROMs actually. One thing that I hope to get into one day. One thing to note, after you flash this, if you want the Google Play Store and stuff like that, you're gonna have to flash the GApps. Now, I don't have the latest because I forgot to download them. So I have the 1130 GApps, I believe. So if I go to in here, I have GApps for the 1130 ones, which is fine. I mean, they still work. So, but I recommend downloading the latest, which is 2012. So you should download those GApps if you can. I'm going to download them after I install Goo Manager again. Shouldn't take too long again. So all this is pretty simple. I mean, it goes pretty fast. So we're going to go back, and can't really see it, but that says reboot system now. And see what kind of boot animation this has. Should probably clean my screen. I wonder if this has the, yeah, this has the stock, but it's a black and white stock. I don't know how well you can see that on video, but it's like gray and then like white on this side. So I know you probably can't really see that through the camera, but it looks kind of cool. So I will be back when this is done fully booting up. Alright, and we are fully booted up. So I'm going to go through the setup process. I am in the United States. I'm not going to set up my Wi-Fi. I'll just skip. I have unlimited on T-Mobile. No, not now. Sure. I'm just gonna skip that and skip this and finish. Not sure why my T-Mobile isn't working, but let's jump right into settings. So let's go down to About Us. That's kind of cool. Blue Wall is the one that develops all the that makes all the wallpapers, and I'm assuming these are all the developers. It's kind of nice that they give credit to everybody. And if we go into About Phone, this is on Android 4.2.1. See Xylon. So if we keep tapping that, they don't have an Easter egg, but bacon, I like that. So now we have our developer options, which is kind of neat. We have user interface. So we have status bar, so we can change some of the options under status bar, kind of like AOKP. Navigation bar, kind of like AOKP's navigation, which is kind of nice. Quick toggles, so you can choose. So I mean, it has a lot of features of AOKP with the toggles and stuff. So if you're used to AOKP, you're probably used to this ROM. Power menu is when you press and hold the power button. I know a lot of you ask me that. So, and under general UI, you can change the carrier label. So mine says T-Mobile, but I can change it to Brandon's Nexus if I wanted to. You can choose a notification background. So if you want a custom picture, let's go back under lock screen. Can we have, how many custom shortcuts can we have? So we can have 5, but if this is on Jelly Bean, I wonder how that corresponds to like the widgets and stuff, because you usually slide anywhere. So I'm gonna just gonna go up here and add an application, and I'm gonna add, say, camera. Hit OK, and I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna add something else. Add an email. Hit OK. Go over here. Let's see, DSP manager, and just one more, so I can see. I just want to see how like the 5 looks. So I think that it has a CM file manager too, so that's kind of neat. And let's see how this looks. Okay, so it kind of reverts a little bit back to the 4.1 lock screen, where you can have the custom shortcuts, but you can still just slide on over and use your custom widgets, which is pretty nice. This is the first ROM I've used that actually integrated those, which is pretty neat. So let's go back, and you can also allow lock screen rotation. You can choose all widgets. So if some widgets aren't compatible, you can make them compatible. So that's kind of neat. And you can have unlimited. I don't really see scrolling through a whole bunch of widgets on your lock screen though, because I would just unlock it. But I mean, I guess it's kind of cool still. Not really much else. Let's see what it comes with. So we have the CM File Explorer, which it looks actually really nice. So I'm going to exit that. We have Performance Control and Super SU. I haven't really seen Super User, integrated into ROMs anymore, but so that's my how to install Xylon ROM on your Samsung Galaxy Nexus.